We know it runs, time to see if it drives. Brake light came on as soon as I fired it up. So the first thing I did was check the fluid. It was pretty much empty. I filled it up, but I also noticed that the cover wasn't fitting correctly. Gasket's all warped and doesn't fit correctly either. So this brake fluid has just been soaking up moisture for the last 10 years. And it is nasty. Yeah. So before I trust this thing pulling me down to a stop after I do the swap, this is gonna get at least probably a new master cylinder and definitely a brake flush at the minimum. Hopefully everything else isn't gone behind it, but we'll find out. But it should work just fine for now. Just seeing if I can get this thing to go down the road a little bit. This is just a test to see if it actually rolls and stops and drives. So I'm actually even gonna use the oil that's in the motor right now. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sell this thing. I don't know anybody that would want this thing. So we're gonna give it a shot. It's got 10-year-old gas in it. So I'm just gonna put a few gallons of fresh gas in it and an ounce of some good injection cleaner. These tires are dry rotted bad, but I bet they'll hold air long enough to go down the road for a little bit. I'll probably melt them off in some burnouts after the swap. This cheap gauge reads about 6 pounds too high. So we're gonna set this around 34, just in case they want to explode. Hopefully that'll prevent them from doing so. They're holding air for now. See if they stay up long enough for me to get them off these car dollies. No leaks yet. Does it have coolant? Let's see. No overflow tank. That got deleted at some point. Doesn't have any coolant, but it's got lots of scale and buildup. Oh, there's some coolant. All right, looking good. Good enough. Let's see what the transmission fluid says. Pretty dirty. Probably just as good as it was 10 years ago, honestly. So I've got to let it run in order to check the level. So that's the next step.
It's neat.
What's that?
The engine is neat.
Think so? Well, I got to replace that engine. I got to put a bigger one in there.
Woo.
All right, you ready to see me fire it up?
Yep.
It's the same battery. It's been hooked up since last time. I don't know if it's gonna work.
It's got tires.
It's always had tires. They just weren't.
Working.
Yeah.
Excited?
Let's see.
But nervous.
Battery
too.
nervous.
I try to forget about the nervous.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Brake light's still on though. Not sure what that's about. It's good. Hood's gonna close for the first time in years. Didn't do anything to it but put a battery in it. Let's go take it for a ride. It runs just as smooth as it did 10 years ago. Let's see. Alright, brake light's on, fluid's in it, e-brake's down, pedal doesn't feel good, and I'm definitely going to hit my garage if the brakes don't work and I don't turn correctly. So, let's see what happens. I gotta get out of this garage before I get asphyxiated with the fumes. Alright, there's a chance that as soon as I put this into gear, the brakes aren't going to work and it's going to shoot backwards and I could hit the wall of my garage. I really hope that doesn't happen. Here we go. Brakes work. There she is, sitting in the driveway of the house I own, finally about to get the attention that I've been promising for years. Temp gauge doesn't want to work. It's only a problem if it becomes a problem. So back here in the garage, taking a look at where it was. Here's where the engine was. I spilled a little coolant. Who knows, probably a leak. Some more coolant, some other stuff. But I see a puddle back here that smells like brake fluid. And right where this would be is about bracket, like the junction where the hard line turns into the soft line for the rear end. So I've probably got a brake leak on this thing. So I'm not gonna take it on the road where I put someone else in danger. But I'm gonna take it for a ride in the yard. I did not clean the windshield yet. That's on the to-do list. Okay, just a short little ride. Here we go. Oh, I love this car. Shifts just as good as it did 10 years ago. There it is, 10 years later. Drop it off the jack stands and it's good to go. Not even a check engine light. Got to check out that brake leak and figure that out before I take it on the road. I guess now I have to change the oil.